Alright guys, welcome back to Buffering Syndrome. I'm Eric, and here is my partner in crime and the annoyance that is my little brother. Go ahead, keep your name for the people.
I'm DJ.
You're not on nearly as much as me for some reason.
Yeah, sorry.
Normally the master behind the camera, but we're going to turn things around this time. So, we've seen Infinity War. I've seen it twice. Have you seen it 2 or 3 times?
I've seen it twice. I'd like to see it a third time.
I debated going today, but something came up. That's not the point. Since then, we've sort of been on a Spider-Man kick. I mean, he's always on a Spider-Man kick. But more so recently, if you've seen the movie, you know why. If not, we're not going to get into that. We'll do a video when Greg shows up to break down Infinity War. But I thought for once, instead of you guys seeing me so much, I'd toss the reins over to the kid here and let him do a DJ's take on looking back at a previous iteration of Spider-Man, as in Tobey Maguire and then Sam Raimi's concluding chapter of his trilogy, and that is Spider-Man 3. We're going to look at what it could have been and dive into, missed opportunities and lost potential. So with that, I'm going to duck out of the shots now and pass it over to my man here. You all set?
I am set. Alright guys, let's take a look at our favorite edgelord, Tobey Maguire. Hello children. As you can see, I'm wearing a Deadpool shirt. You should go see Deadpool 2. It's awesome. But that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about the meme that is Spider-Man 3. You're probably thinking, how could I possibly defend such a movie? The answer, with words. Let's start from the beginning. So, in 2002, Sam Raimi released a movie called Spider-Man. And for most of us, that was our first real taste of Spider-Man on the big screen, when Tobey Maguire donned the mask. It wasn't until after seeing that that I started to read the comics and learn more about the character. And I kind of grew up with those movies. Loved them as a kid. As I got older, I started to realize that they weren't quite as accurate to the comics as I thought. And comparing them to the more recent ones, not so great. But Spider-Man 2, I think most people would argue, is still the best one, especially with Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. So Spider-Man 3 came out. I don't remember how far into the movie it was when you're introduced to Topher Grace's Eddie Brock, and I was like, oh my god, it's Venom. They're bringing in Venom. And I was stoked because he's awesome. He's one of the coolest Spider-Man villains. Unfortunately, I had no idea what I was getting into. A lot of problems with that. I mean, like I said, at the time, I did really enjoy the movie, but over the years, rewatching it, learning more about Spider-Man and the characters and Venom in particular, I realized that it could have been done a lot better. Don't get me wrong, Sandman was great, easily the best part of that movie, and I did like James Franco becoming the New Goblin, but they definitely rushed Venom into that. Should have taken some more time on that. I don't think his character was really developed as well as it should be. They kind of just threw him in, and it's like, oh, Peter Parker stole my girlfriend and broke my camera, now I want to kill him. And now I have the means to do it because I have a symbiote. It's like, alright, settle down, Foreman, settle down. And of course, we all know the cringeworthy scenes of Peter going full emo with the symbiote and the crazy hair and the scene in the club. If I could just find a way to erase that from my mind, that'd be great. Those memes will haunt us forever. I know Sam Raimi didn't want to put him in the movie, he wanted to hold it off, but the studio kind of forced him to throw that in, and unfortunately we'll never get to see what he would have brought to the table next because Spider-Man 4 never came to be. Rumor has it was going to be Bruce Campbell as Mysterio, which would have been pretty interesting to see, but we're not going to see that. So, basically going back on what I think could have made the movie better, if possible, if they could have just, first of all, let's just completely scrap the whole emo Peter Parker scenes and maybe either save Venom for later somehow, maybe hint at him towards the end of the movie, and just keep the focus on Sandman and New Goblin, or maybe even just Sandman. I think the movie could have been much better. We could have had maybe Eddie Brock show up at some point, maybe slowly build his character, and then perhaps have an end credit scene or something showing the symbiote coming to Earth, or maybe like a quick flash of Venom. Just my opinion. If you guys have any thoughts on what could have made the movie better, or if you like it as is, or if you completely hate it and think that nothing I say or nothing can be done to make it better, then let me know. Leave some comments below. That's pretty much all I have to say. Yeah. Thanks. Why are you still filming? I said my bit. There's nothing more to say. Spider-Man 3 is what it is.
I got something to say as I stuff my face with candy. You want any Skittles?
Sure.
Yes, I keep candy lined in my pockets. Don't judge me. So, touching on says as I stuff my face with my own Skittles. What are your thoughts on Spider-Man 3? Do you actually like the movie? Do you like the Tobey Maguire trilogy? I personally like Spider-Man 2 because Doc Ock's performance was fantastic. Maybe you prefer Andrew Garfield, in which case there is absolutely no help for you and you should stop watching these videos immediately. Or, maybe you like Tom Holland, who made his debut in the MCU with Civil War as standalone and then Infinity War. But if that's the case, you have to ask yourself one question. What happens now after the big...
I don't feel so good.
Shit. Well,